Manchester United 2, Brighton 1. I predicted 2-1 and it was 2-1 actually. Today we haven't made that easy for ourselves, but we've got the job done. To be honest, I'm delighted. We've got the game later on, Chelsea, Arsenal. So going into that game, all Manchester United needed to do was to get the 3 points and put the pressure on both of them teams that are higher up in the league than us. And we've done that, so overly happy for that. We've had to change our starting lineup due to apparently Luke Shaw getting injured. There was reports from the Manchester Evening News yesterday that Ashley Young wasn't in the squad, but he was actually in the squad. Maybe he wasn't at the hotel with the other players, so he was in the squad and played. Dalot also playing. It's nice to see Dalot getting some more game time because he really needs the experience in the Premier League games. And I'm sure he's going to be a fantastic fullback. It's just going to take him time. He's ever so young, still only 19. And fullbacks probably don't come into their own until they're at least early 20s to mid 20s. So nice to see him get another run out because he probably wouldn't have stood a chance otherwise. Also, Darmian then made the substitutes bench, who in fact actually come on late on. But Manchester United got the game up and running through a Paul Pogba penalty, which was a penalty, and he dispatched it well. Didn't do too much of his silly run up and walloped it in the corner. Fantastic penalty from him. And we did in fact get that second goal, which I thought probably would kill the game off at the end of the second half. The end of the first half, sorry. And it was a fantastic goal from Marcus Rashford, putting it in the corner of the net. Really pleased for him. He's on fire at the moment. So is Pogba with his goals as well. We've got 4 players all on 8 Premier League goals at the moment, which is actually crazy. Normally teams don't have that many different options that are scoring an okay amount. We haven't had someone that's got high level of goals, but we've now got 4 players that are all got a decent level of goals. So that is good to see. We obviously haven't seen Lukaku or Sanchez from the start of this game. Lukaku coming on late, but we did concede one from Gross in the second half, and it made for a nervy end to the game because they come on and obviously try to get back into the game to get the 2-2, to get the result that they would have wanted today. They would have come here to try to get that point which would take them closer to the safety mark in the Premier League for them, and they haven't been able to achieve that. But we changed our decision to bring Lukaku on and Mata come on as the only substitution we made at that given time, and then Lukaku come on a bit later on with 10 minutes to go. But it does seem like Marcus Rashford, who had a fantastic game again today, is now the main man up front for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Lukaku's really going to have to work his magic in order to get back in the starting lineup. But we do know that Lukaku can score goals against this type of opposition, so he is going to still be handy going into the latter stages of the season. Certainly if we remain in the FA Cup or Champions League past the next rounds of them competitions, we'll have a lot of games to play, and we're going to need our squad to the full max. So although we haven't seen much of Lukaku today, or we haven't seen any of Sanchez today, there's still going to be games where we're going to probably need them players to come up to produce the goods for Manchester United as the season progresses. But the only disappointment for me is that Martial hasn't got himself a goal. He was better second half, but he's gone on a little barren spell the last few games and hasn't scored, which is a bit disappointing. It'd be nice to see him get along the goal trail again, because he's a player that is probably capable of scoring 15 league goals a season for Manchester United, but his consistency hasn't always been great, and he's maybe more of a spurts player where he got a few in a spurt and now hasn't got one for a few games. I'm not saying he was terrible today, but he could be getting 15-20 goals in all competitions for Manchester United. He's got that capability, and you see Manchester United have the capability of 3 or maybe 4 players that have the capability of scoring 20 goals in a season. We've got Rashford, who's got that potential, Martial, Lukaku, and maybe even Pogba. And I mean, Sanchez has done it in the past, obviously not getting enough game time, but so you've got 3 or 4 players there that could potentially have got that capability, and it's nice to see that Manchester United got that wealth of attacking option that we have that's still sitting on the bench. Looking at Mata and Lukaku coming off the bench, and also Sanchez sitting on the bench, and that's without the likes of Gomez, Chong, Greenwood, who aren't even playing first team football at this moment in time. So the attacking wealth of options that Manchester United have is frightening to see. We never had this amount of options under Louis van Gaal. That is why Rashford got his chance. I mean, it was great that Rashford got his chance under Louis van Gaal, because if he hadn't done, I'm not sure he would have ever got that chance under Jose Mourinho that he got, and probably he might have got a chance in a League Cup or an FA Cup tie, but probably wouldn't have got much football. Would have just got 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, and he probably wouldn't be in the first team now and may well have left Manchester United. It's crazy to think when certain players don't get enough game time at a certain age that they end up not making it, and Rashford has been absolutely fantastic at Manchester United, he really has, and that is my only worry for other youngsters coming through the academy, because Angel Gomez, Tae Chong and Mason Greenwood have all got really good potential in their abilities and could go far in the game. I'm not saying they definitely will, because you can't predict what's going to happen with them, but it's going to remain to be seen whether they get game time for Manchester United, because we haven't seen a lot of other players again today. Fred hasn't even been in the matchday squad. Andreas Pereira has got very little football for Manchester United. That's without Scott McTominay and Marouane Fellaini not even in the squad either. So this squad is huge for Manchester United. But we're just going to have to see where this takes us. This is 7 wins out of 7 for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, so he couldn't have done any better with this Manchester United squad at present. We've still certainly got issues at the back. I think Lindelof has improved massively for Manchester United, but even if Lindelof does become the player that we hope he does become and gets even better, he probably does still need to go to that next level for Manchester United to be challenging for the title or the Champions League next season. But we would need another centre-half alongside him, because I'm not sure if Eric Bailly is going to make it at Manchester United now. We will have to still wait and see. There's still time for him to make it at Manchester United, whether it's under this manager or the next manager. The next manager might want to give every guy a chance before he decides which ones, the likes of Bailey and people like that, before he wants to see whether he wants to get rid of them. So we will have to wait and see. But we've still got to sort out them options at the centre-half and the full-back positions. But overall, really pleased today's win. I'm going to give Marcus Rashford man of the match for that second goal of the game, because it was a nice strike from Rashford, and long may that continue. Hopefully he can continue to push on and get 50, maybe 10 to 12, maybe 15 league goals this season. Who knows what he could get, and then kick on, because that is absolutely fantastic so far from Rashford at this young age. He has gone through a bit of a barren spell under Mourinho, still got more goals last season than he did in the previous seasons, but he wasn't at the level he was when he first broke into the team under Van Gaal, or the level he is at now. But he's seeming to get back up to that level he was showing when he first broke into the team. But no one could have expected him to carry that on, even under whoever the manager was for the last 2 seasons. It was obviously Jose Mourinho who shut him out wide on a number of occasions. But you couldn't really, even if he played centre forward, have expected him to have continued the goal threat that he was showing when he first broke into the team. Otherwise he'd have over 100 goals and everything by now, and 100 assists or whatever by now. That was never feasible that was going to continue, but he's definitely hitting top numbers as of late, and hopefully that can continue, because you really want them players that come through the youth team that are Manchester United fans potentially to come through and have great careers at Manchester United. But it very rarely works out these days. We haven't had a centre forward come through the Manchester United academy that has played in the first team on a regular basis for a very, very long time. So it is pleasing to see the other players that have come through the youth academy haven't made it at Manchester United in terms of their ability. They've had all the ability. James Wilson, Federico Makeda just haven't made it at Manchester United. And this is the first striker in a long while. We've seen other players, Josh King, Fraser Campbell, come through Manchester United and just haven't made it into the first team. And it's pleasing to see that Rashford is doing that now. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon.